In the quiet village of Kumasi in Ghana, there lived two brothers named Kwame and Kofi. They were only 2 years apart, with Kwame being the elder. Kwame was gentle, reserved, and always wore a soft smile, even in tough times. Kofi, the younger one, was energetic, quick-witted, and driven by grand ambitions. Born into a struggling family, their mother sold roasted plantains by the roadside after their father passed away when they were still young boys. Kwame was the one who stayed close, helping their mother with daily chores and small tasks around the village. But Kofi, eager for more, left early to seek opportunities in Accra. Years passed, and Kwame learned to repair motorcycles, working part-time in a local shed. He led a modest life, content in his loyalty and simplicity, despite their poverty. Kofi, however, thrived in the city. Clever and fortunate, he built wealth through export trading and secured deals with influential businessmen. His success elevated him to riches. One fateful day, everything shifted with a single phone call. Kwame was under a motorcycle in his workshop, tightening bolts, when his phone buzzed. He wiped the grease from his hands and answered. It was Kofi's wife, Akojua, sobbing uncontrollably. Kwame, please come to Accra. Kofi is in the hospital. He's fading fast. Without hesitation, Kwame caught the next trotro bus to Accra, arriving early the next morning, weary and hungry from the overnight journey. He headed straight to the hospital in Korabu. Akojua embraced him tightly, tears streaming. In the private room, Kofi lay frail on the bed, hooked to monitors, his face gaunt and voice raspy. Kwame, he whispered. What happened? Kwame asked, gripping his brother's hand. Kidney failure, Akojua explained. Kofi clutched tighter. They say I need a transplant. Kwame turned to the doctor. What does this mean? He needs a kidney from a compatible donor soon, the doctor replied. Silence fell. Akojua added, I was tested, but I'm not a match. Kofi's eyes pleaded, filled with fear. I don't want to die. Kwame nodded firmly. I'll get tested. 2 days later, the results confirmed Kwame was a perfect match. The doctors outlined the risks, surgery dangers, a lifetime of caution with one kidney, and a long recovery. Kwame asked only, if I don't donate, will he die? The doctor affirmed, and Kwame agreed without a second thought. The night before the operation, Kwame sat by Kofi's bed. Why did you agree so quickly? Kofi asked softly. Kwame smiled. Because you're my brother. Kofi averted his gaze, tears falling. I don't deserve this. Maybe not, Kwame replied, but I'm doing it out of love. The surgery lasted hours, two brothers side by side in operating rooms. It succeeded. Kofi recovered, while Kwame grew weaker but survived. Hospital staff applauded Kwame's bravery. Akojua called him a blessing. Kofi, emotional, said, you saved me. Kwame, pale but smiling, responded, we're blood. 3 weeks later, Kwame returned to Kumasi with a small envelope containing 5,000 cedis from Kofi as thanks. But Kofi never visited. Calls dwindled, and soon, Kwame's number was blocked after he voiced concerns about their growing distance. Months passed. Word reached Kwame from a friend in Accra. Kofi had bought a lavish home in East Legon, mingling with ministers and tycoons, even acquiring a luxury SUV. Meanwhile, Kwame, still healing, lost his repair job due to his diminished strength. Attempts to reach Kofi or Akosua went unanswered. Heartbroken, Kwame borrowed money and traveled to Accra. He waited outside Kofi's office for hours. When Kofi emerged, Kwame called out, "Kofi." Kofi glanced, then feigned ignorance. Kwame approached. "It's me, Kwame." Kofi sighed. "Kwame, don't cause a scene here." "A scene? I embarrass you. I gave you my kidney." Kofi's expression hardened. "And I paid you. Do you plan to hold that over me forever?" "I asked for nothing," Kwame said, voice trembling. "Then go home," Kofi replied, driving away, leaving Kwame devastated. Stranded, Kwame spent the night in a cheap guest house, penniless and shattered. "I gave you life, and you gave me rejection," he whispered to himself. The next day, a kind stranger helped him return home. Kofi rose higher, gaining political influence and elite connections. But unease crept in. Sleepless nights plagued him, sweats, whispers, shadows. Appetite vanished. Doctors found nothing wrong, but Kofi knew guilt pursued him. 2 months after Kwame's return, he had grown thinner, more withdrawn. One evening, outside their mother's home, a car arrived. It was Akosua, frantic. "Please, he's dying again." Kwame remained silent. "He's coughing blood. Doctors are baffled. He calls your name in his sleep." Still, Kwame said nothing. Akosua knelt. "Come see him." Kwame rose and walked inside, leaving her pleading. Back in Accra, Kofi awoke from a nightmare, trembling. "I saw Kwame, bleeding, demanding it back," he told Akosua. She called their reverend. After prayers, he advised, "This isn't medical. Only Kwame can resolve it." The reverend convinced Kwame to visit, not for reconciliation, but for answers. Kwame entered Kofi's opulent East Legon mansion, polished tiles, grand lights, guards. Kofi lay pale, barely recognizing him. "Brother," Kofi rasped, reaching out. Kwame stayed distant. "So this is where my kidney lives." Kofi swallowed. "I was wrong." Akosua interjected softly. "You don't know the full story." She explained. Post-surgery, Kofi stared at his scar in the mirror, weeping from shame. It symbolized weakness, dependency. Fearing Kwame would see him as lesser, he cut ties to preserve his pride, pretending the dead didn't exist. But it consumed him inwardly. Kwame was stunned. All that silence, because of ego. The reverend entered, prayed, then revealed, the donation formed a spiritual bond. Rejection turned it to a curse. When life is given and spurned, torment follows. Akosua asked, "What now?" The reverend turned to Kwame. "You hold the key. Forgive from the heart." Kwame broke down, sobbing over lost months, hunger, scars. Then, he approached Kofi, hand on his chest. "I forgive you, not for deserving it, but for my freedom and peace with God. You discarded my kindness, but I release you. May the ancestors judge us." Kofi convulsed, screaming, then calmed. The shadows, they are gone. Kwame turned and left, seeking no thanks. 2 weeks later, Kwame received an envelope with a letter and a 100,000 cedi check. "Kwame, I may not earn your words again, but let me mend this. Start your dream workshop. Thank you for saving me twice. Your brother, Kofi. Months on, Kwame stood before his new shop, Kwame Motor Repairs, in Kumasi. Tools gleamed, bought with the funds. He smiled, healed not fully, but stronger. 6 months later, dawn lit the village. Kwame swept his floor, healthier now. A car pulled up, Kofi, in simple attire. Good morning, Kwame. Kwame nodded wearily. What do you want? To thank you, and more, to be family again. Kwame paused. I forgive, but I won't revisit pain. Kofi looked humbled but stayed, helping in the shop despite stains on his clothes. Day after day, he returned. On the third day, Kwame embraced him. You're my brother. Remember our roots, our joy in poverty. We should cherish more now. Kofi knelt, weeping apologies. They reconciled. This story teaches that betrayal often strikes from those we cherish most. Giving empowers, not weakens, even if gifts are discarded. Pride ruins what love constructs. Forgiveness frees us, not obliging return to hurt. Sometimes, rewards come not from those aided, but from inner resilience to thrive alone. Thank you for diving into My Money is Yours. If you enjoyed this gripping tale, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more captivating stories from Togo and beyond. Hit the bell icon to never miss an update. New stories drop regularly. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the storytelling vibe going.